Okay, so what's really in your beer? I mean, it's way more than just a drink, right? It's this incredible story of history, chemistry, and culture all rolled into one. And we're going to break it all down.
So that's a pretty cool question, right? A monastery from the 1600s and your modern day barbecue? It sounds like some kind of tricky riddle, but you know what? The answer is surprisingly simple, elegant even, and it's something that's been perfected for centuries. Yup, that's it. Just four things: water, malt, hops, and yeast. Just four simple elements, but in the right hands, wow. They can create this unbelievable range of styles and flavors. So let's dive in and break them down, one by one.
All right, let's start at the beginning with the absolute foundation of any beer. I'm talking about water and malt. See, before you get to anything else, you have to create this base. It's called wort. Think of it as the sweet, sugary liquid that's going to become the heart and soul of the beer.
So, how do they do it? It's actually a pretty clever trick. Brewers basically fool the barley grains into thinking it's time to grow. This little trick kicks off germination, which unlocks all these enzymes. And those enzymes are key. They convert the grain's starches into the sugars that the yeast will eventually eat. This whole process is what gives beer its body, and it's the fuel for the magic we'll get to later.
Okay, but what does that mean for what's in your glass? You know that amazing, bready, almost like fresh-baked bread smell you get from a good German beer? Yeah, that's the malt. And the beautiful golden or deep amber color, that's the malt too. It really is the soul of the beer.
And believe me, this tradition goes deep. Just look at the Paulaner monks in Munich. They started brewing all the way back in 1634. And get this, by 1773, this one monk, Brother Barnabas, had pretty much perfected a recipe that they still build on today. We're not talking about some new trend here. This is a craft that's been fine-tuned for almost 400 years. Incredible.
Of course, you can't talk about malts without talking about its partner, water. The local water makes a huge difference. I mean, the specific minerals, or lack of them, completely change the character. Take Italy, for example. The soft water there is a huge reason a beer like Peroni is so incredibly smooth and crisp. It's literally a taste of the place it was born. Okay, so we've got our sweet, malty base. But right now, well, it's just sweet. We need something to balance it out. And that's where hops come in. Hops are the spice of beer. They bring the bitterness, the aroma, and hey, they even act as a natural preservative.
Hops became so crucial, especially in a place like Germany, that they were literally written into law. I'm talking about the famous German purity law from 1516. It said beer could only be made from water, barley, and hops. That's it. This really cemented their place in the brewing world, a tradition that breweries like Paulaner honor to this day.
But here's the thing. Not all hops are the same. Not even close. You've got your traditional European lagers, right? They tend to use these elegant, noble hops that give you a subtle, kind of floral bitterness. And then you've got American craft brewers. They love to just go for it with these big, bold, citrusy, sometimes grassy hops that just explode with flavor.
And this is where things get really interesting. Check this out. There's this Italian brewery, Angelo Peretti, that's been making beer since 1877. Super traditional. But they decided to mix things up. They took a classic American hop, the Columbus hop, and grew it in Italy. And the lager they made with it? It completely blew away a reviewer who said it tasted more like an American craft beer. Talk about a perfect example of how brewing is always innovating. All right, but we're missing one absolutely vital ingredient. It's the invisible one, the silent worker, the real magician of the group. I'm talking about the tiny microorganism that eats all those sugars we made earlier and, in return, gives us alcohol and carbonation. Yep, it's time to talk about yeast. And this right here is probably one of the biggest forks in the road for any beer. You've got ale yeast on one side. It likes warmer temperatures, works at the top of the tank, and creates all those robust, fruity, and spicy flavors you find in, say, Belgian or English beers. Then you've got lager yeast. It prefers the cold, works slowly at the bottom, and gives you that super clean, smooth, crisp character of a Pilsner. Two different paths, two very different beers. And just like the water or the hops, yeast can be incredibly local. Take the Benedictiner Brewery. They use a special cellar yeast that's totally unique to their little mountain region in Bavaria. And because of that, their beer has a flavor you literally cannot find anywhere else in the world. It's another piece of the puzzle that ties a beer directly to its home.
Okay, so we've met our four main characters: water, malt, hops, and yeast. Now, let's look at a moment in history where they all came together in a perfect storm, a moment that created a style of beer that would literally take over the world. This is where it all comes together: history, tech, and taste. This was a game changer, no exaggeration. In 1842, in the city of Pilsen, in what's now the Czech Republic, brewers took their local ingredients, those floral Saaz hops, that super soft water, and combined them with a pale malt and that newfangled lager yeast. And what they created was Pilsner Urquell, the world's very first clear, golden lager. It changed everything. But look, making a masterpiece is one thing. Getting it to the rest of the world is a whole other challenge. The delicate flavor of Pilsner Urquell was getting totally ruined by light and heat on those long trips overseas. So what did they do? They got serious. They completely changed the shipping game, cutting travel times in half and even bringing in refrigerated containers. All that just to make sure the beer tasted exactly right, even thousands of miles from home. That's dedication. And you want to talk about impact? Just look at these numbers. The Czech Republic, the home of the Pilsner, drinks more beer per person than any other country. And it's not even a close race. We're talking 143 liters a year for every single person. To put that in perspective, that's nearly double what people drink in the US. It's so much more than a drink there. It's a huge part of their culture. So when you think about it, from the quiet, patient work of monks in a monastery to the massive global logistics needed for a Pilsner, the whole story of beer is this amazing tale of innovation built on just 4 simple ingredients. It's a journey that's still going, in tiny craft breweries and ancient monasteries all over the globe. The only real question is, what will you discover next? So as we finish up here, just a friendly reminder to always enjoy these incredible drinks responsibly, and of course, only if you're of legal drinking age. Cheers!